Haley, that story is fucking oh my goodness, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I really wanted to like channel peak Wattpad with that one. Peak Wattpad. Peak okay, so I don't go on Facebook for anything except for to see what fuck ass ads it gives me and to like see what crazy shit my aunt is posting. So whenever I go onto Facebook, the ads I get, they're different now. Now all the ads I get are reels for like Chinese dramas, but like on not like real Chinese dramas, but like vertical ones on like video apps, like ones that were made for TikTok, I guess. Some of those are crazy. I do watch those. I keep getting them because I click on them. But then the ads I used to get would be like for really shitty novels, like web novels. And I have clicked on those too. I don't pay for them. I click on them to see what the name of the novel is, and then I find a pirated version of it. And then don't come get me FBI. And then I read those. I was really trying to channel those. The only thing I didn't grab for them was there was no Omegaverse. There's no Omegaverse in it. I spared you from that. Because oh my god, every web novel is about werewolves. Some was the alpha, and there's some fuck shit around. Either the girl was the child of an alpha and is now a rogue because her dad likes her sister better and abandoned her, and then the evil rival pack then adopts her, and it turns out their alpha isn't so bad after all, and they're married. That's a very common plot. What else? I don't know. It's a lot of like omegas that are treated badly and then are actually fated mates of the alpha. It's like, whoa, you guys treat me so bad, but didn't you know I'm in charge? Crazy shit. I love, ooh. And that's how we stand piracy. Listen, I'm not gonna agree or disagree because I'm on the internet and people are seeing me in my face. I'm not gonna agree or disagree. But, okay, we're doing a detour. We're doing a detour right off the bat because I just remembered the craziest fucking one I found. There's this ad. I went on a rant about it in one of the Discord servers I'm in. Oh my god, my camera keeps like slowly shifting to the right, so it keeps like being crooked. I told my police officer friend earlier I was legally watching football. Oh, until you're typing this from jail. You wouldn't steal a car, would you steal a football? Or something. I don't know. That's not how that ad went. Okay, so we're not in Apex mode. We're going to just chatting mode. Yeah, I would also download a car. I'd be concerned about how that would come out my printer, but I'd download a car. Okay, so there's this one web novel. We're going to just chatting mode just because, like, this... Okay, so there was this web novel, and it was called, like, The Wife of the Beastman Empire or something. I don't know. It was something. It was the something of the Beastman Empire. Queen? Maybe? I don't know. It was something wild. And so I clicked on it because the ad for it had like an image of like a big lion man and a big tiger man and a big wolf man and then a giant ass snake hovering around a lady's hospital bed. And I'm like, that's actually crazy. I need to see what the fuck this is about. So I clicked on it. And I'm gonna do an abridged version, because basically there's the main story, and then right at the end they do some crazy dimensional shit, and that's what I want to talk about. So I'm gonna do an abridged version of the main story, but the main story is basically, like, she's an alien or something? Or no, she's from Earth, I guess, except it turns out later she isn't actually from Earth or something. But, it's a victimless crime. That's exactly it. You get it. Yeah, so she's an alien, but she's not actually, or like, okay, so there's Earth, and then there's like this Beastman planet, but they're in different dimensions, because Beastman planet has lots of other planets around it. So it's like two different dimensions, and the dimensions like merged for a split second and like overlapped, but the only thing that happened is that she got kidnapped from one dimension to the other. So, so she's in this beast man, and like her family on the normal dimension didn't like her. They were like gonna sell her to a man to cover gambling debts. They were gonna sell her. Their daughter, they were gonna be like, that happens a lot in Chinese dramas actually, where it's like, arranged marriages for dowries and stuff. Anyway, it's that thing of like, oh, we have a bunch of gambling debts and we hate you and you're only here to be our maid, so we're gonna sell you to a man and you're gonna be his wife. So, and she would get like beat or whatever. So she did not like it on Earth. But she got kidnapped and then she would just like, while she was asleep or like passed out or something. And so she was just on this like abandoned planet with a bunch of like real animals around her taking care of her, and then like the beastmen were coming to this planet. The beastmen are humans who can turn into animals, so it's just like werewolves except it's all types and it's a little bit different. So the beastman like army was coming here because there's like replenishable resources on this planet or something, and they found this girl. And they're like, oh my god, girl's not supposed to be here. And so in the Beastman Empire, it works special. The men can turn into animals, but they're not supposed to, because they only turn into animals when they're really upset and mad, and then they lose control of the animal. So they turn into Big Tiger when they're really, really angry, but then Big Tiger isn't them, it's Angry Tiger, because they're not in charge of their brain. And so they're like, all of them have different tiers of animal. So the higher the tier, the more uncontrollable your animal are. So if you're S tier, if you're an S tier Beastman, man, your Big Tiger inside of you, the wolf inside of you, cannot be contained. But women on this, only men on this planet or in this dimension can turn into animal. Only only men can turn into the animal. Women have special psychic mental powers that like soothe the man animal. So the way society works in this Beastman empire is big strong man go crazy. Only way to not go crazy is to find a woman to soothe him. How does she soothe him? Well, they think the only way is to soothe him is for them to bone. But then this girl comes and actually she's an S tier, she's a triple S tier female. They're like, what the fuck? She doesn't even have to bone anyone or be intimate with them to calm them down. So she goes around and she starts like calming everyone down. Like there's a rampaging snake and she's like, no, little snake, that's not allowed. I know you just saw your dad beat your mom. That's not okay, but you can't go crazy because then they're gonna put you down. So come over here, I'm gonna soothe you. And so she just goes around like soothing, and so she turns, like, she ends up, there's like all of like the most highest tier men in this empire who've been struggling to keep it together. It's like a reverse harem story. So she ends up with 9 husbands. 9 husbands. That's so many husbands. I like reverse harem stories. I think they're kind of fun. Usually it's like 4 or 5. Usually it's 3. It's like 3 to 5. 9? Too many. But she ends up with 9 husbands. One of them is the king. One of them's like a giant-ass general. One of them is like Boba Fett. Not actually, but like a pirate bounty hunter from space. But anyway, and then it turns out that, so they're in this Beastman Empire, there's a god. And the god is a tree. It's a tree god. But people on this planet are atheists, but the tree is right there. Like, you can see the god tree. The god tree has grown. It's a giant-ass fucking magic tree. But people are atheists. They're like, man, I don't know if I believe in the god tree. It's right there. You can see it. How can you not believe in a thing that's right there? Anyway, that's crazy. But it turns out that she's not from Earth. Actually, she's the daughter of the god tree, which I don't know how a tree gives birth. I need someone to explain to me the logistics of tree birth to me. But anyway, she's actually from Beastman Empire world and got kidnapped to Earth eventually. But then she came back. But whatever. And then they start having like kids. She names one of her. Okay, so the kids when Beastmen get pregnant, when Beastmen ladies get pregnant, they get like the bump like normal. And they hold it for like 9 months as well. But then when they pop it out, it's not a fetus that's growing in their stomach, it's an egg. So they pop out a fucking egg, and then they have to, like, incubate an egg for, like, 2 or 3 weeks. And so she fucking pops out this egg, and the eggs can move. Like, the eggs don't just sit there. The eggs are, like, sentient, and they, like, hop around, and they, like, do things. I wish I was making this up. It sounds fucking insane. I wish I was making this up. This is absolutely what I read. And so this egg, they're like, oh, this egg is sentient. We should give it a nickname until it's actually born, so we don't just call it this egg child, because that's a bad name. But you know what isn't a good name, or isn't a bad name? They named the egg Chubby, which, okay, it's a nickname for an egg, that's whatever. And then the baby is born out of the egg, and they're like, ah, shit, we should come up with a new name for our child, because it's mean to call a small child chubby. I don't want to call this small child chubby, that's crazy. That's just, like, not right to call a child. So instead, she names her child Chub. She names her child Chub so that she could still call it Chubby as a nickname. Anyway, all that happens. It's so much more than that. That's like the main crux of the story. I'm abridging the main story. It was like 300 chapters. It was so fucking long. I'm doing an abridged version of that main story. So that's the main story. And then at the end, it's like, it's on one of those like web novel sites. So like, the stories never actually end, because if they keep releasing chapters forever, people keep paying to read the chapters. So really, the business model of those web novel things is to like make as many chapters as possible for as long as possible and really draw out the story. So like, they make kind of short-ish chapters where not a lot of things happen. So that's why it ends up with like 400 chapters. But anyway, it was like 400 chapters in. And then all of a sudden, the God Tree came to her and her not... Basically a soap opera. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's basically a soap opera. As Esther makes her sound like a snake, well, she has 2 snake husbands. So maybe it's fitting. Also, her son Chub, that she calls Chubby, also a snake. But, her and the prince, they have a daughter, which daughters are rare. Having a daughter, unheard of. But even more unheard of, they have a daughter who can turn into a wolf. So it's a daughter who can turn, which honestly, I don't think this is intended by the author, but this is how I choose to interpret it. Intersex daughter. Intersex child. Intersex or trans. Either way. I don't think that was the intention. I think the intention was like, they're so powerful that they made a super powerful female that no one's ever seen before. But in my head, I'm like, oh, their child is intersex. I don't know. You give me the framework of this world and I play within it. But anyway. So, we get to the end of it, and then, like, her and her fucking 9 husbands are, like, just living the best life. The big, like, plot points are done. The, like, I don't know, the military coup is over. They ended the military coup. There's a lot of things that happens. But then they're sitting around the dinner table, and then God Tree comes out of nowhere and is like, you guys are so happy, but what if you die? Do you want to make a heavenly law divine contract to make sure all of you, when you're reborn in the next world, get reborn together? So you're with you in all of your future lives, all of you are together, which means that's a lot of people to be reborn together. Like 10 people being reborn together, that's a lot of people. But they're like, hell yeah, how does this work? And so what happens is they like go into a meditative state, and then and it's not all of her husbands at once, it's like 1 or 2 at a time, but her and like a couple of her husbands, and like it's not a dream state. It's explicitly stated that like this is real and it's happening in another dimension. They go to another dimension and they're in bodies. So I don't know if like, oh, thank you. I mean, no, I'll drink it. I'll drink. I don't have water. Don't be mad at me like Peach would be. Okay, so they like, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know if like there were people existing and then they come to this world and like take over their bodies like a puppet, and then when they leave, the people come back, or like if it's like, I don't know, like these people didn't exist until they arrived, and then suddenly everyone's memories got rewritten, or it's like, no, that person was always there. I don't know what it is, but it's explicitly stated that like this is a real thing that's happening. It's not a dream or a simulation, and that those worlds continue after they leave. So I don't know what the fuck is going on there. So, but like basically, her and like 1 to 3 of her husbands end up in like an alternate dimension where like it's a different set of circumstances, and basically she remembers who they are and like everything. They don't remember anything. They think they're just part of this world. So she has to like make them fall in love with her again, and once she does, that's how like the heavenly contract thing is signed or something. I don't fucking know. It didn't make any sense. But so the first one is it's her, and then there's 2 of her husbands that can turn into lions. But then in this one, they can't turn into lions, they just are lions, and so is she, is fucking Lion King. So it's basically, she's like this little lion cub, and they're these 2 big brother lions who are like in charge of the tribe or the pride or whatever. And like, they're like going against lion lore to like take care of her or something. I don't know. But the thing I remember from this one is that her mother lion breaks her leg, and then is like, oh, leave me behind, I'm gonna die now. A lion with a broken leg, there's nothing we can do for that, we're all lions. So I'm just gonna sit here and die, leave me. And she's like, no, I know medicine. And so this little lion cub that actually has a tree goddess daughter in her brain runs around the area and starts collecting herbs. And so she picks up little plants and then she gives them to her mom. She's a lion. It's with lion paws. She gives them to her mom and goes, this one's anti-inflammatory, so it'll help the swelling go down on your broken leg. And this plant, it's a painkiller, and this one's antibacterial. So she fucking, like, finds plants and, like, makes medicine with them. And then she makes a splint for her mom's broken leg. But I must stress, they are all lions. So she takes her big-ass lion paws and builds a splint for this lion's leg. And, like, makes her a cast. The lion turns into a doctor. What? And so that's the crazy thing that happened in that one. And so then that one ends. And they come back and, like, everyone else is like, they're like, oh my goodness, we've been gone for 30 years. We were lions. And everyone else is like, no, we've been here for 7 minutes at this table. What happened? It's like, and she's like, oh man, I'm so fucking tired. I need a nap, and then we'll do the next heavenly trial or whatever. So they do the next one. They all go into Zen state. And my brain's about to melt. Imagine reading it. So the next one, they do this fucking Zen thing again, and then it's her, and it's only one of her husbands this time. And it's, they're in like I don't know, like a tribe? Like, it's not prehistoric, but, like, they're, like, a Neanderthal tribe or some shit. And, like, how do I explain? Like, they're still shifters. Like, it's still beastmen, so he can still turn into a wolf, but she can turn into a bunny rabbit. And so it's, like, she comes to this prehistoric tribe thing, and he's, like, a witch doctor or something, and she comes in, and, like, all they're eating is, like, rock soup. Like, it's just, like, soup that they put a rock in for seasoning or something, and they're like, I love meat and rock soup. And, like, the tribe, they have different caste systems. Like, they're different wealths, even though they're a tribe with no money. So if you're rich, if you're poor and you're trying to be a hunter-gatherer, you can only use your hands. You can't carry things any other way. You can only use your hands. But if you're really rich, you have big leaf. So when you're going into the tree to, like, gather fruits or whatever, you have big leaf, and you put everything on big leaf, and you carry it that way. And so this buddy woman with the mind of a goddess comes, and she's like, okay, this isn't gonna work. All you do is eat meat and rock, and I'm a little bunny, I'm a vegetarian, I can't eat meat, so we have to fix that. And then she sees the people gathering fruits, and she's like, oh, I like fruit, but the way you're doing that, really inefficient. And so she goes to the bamboo that's, like, in the river or whatever, and she starts pulling it, and everyone's like, silly bunny rabbit, we can only eat the young sapling shoots. Like, these ones are too old, you can't eat them. And she's like, haha, watch this, silly cave people. And she takes it and she dries it out and she makes a bamboo basket, and everyone loses their fucking mind. They're like, oh, I don't have to use big leaf to carry things anymore. I have backpack, I don't need big leaf. Which sounds like I'm talking like Big Farm or something. But, like, genuinely, they were just using a big-ass leaf to carry things, and now they have a basket, and it's revolutionary. And so they're like, oh my god, this bunny rabbit is fucking crazy. And then she goes, and she sees, like, plants on the ground. She's like, hey, yo, watch this. And she digs up sweet potatoes. And they're like, that looks like doo-doo. Why did you, silly rabbit, why do you have doo-doo? Why did you spend all that time and energy digging that up? That looks gross. And she's like, no, watch this. And so she, like, wraps it in tinfoil. Don't know where the fuck she got tinfoil. It is, like, prehistoric times in a tribe. She gets tinfoil, wraps them up, starts cooking them, unwraps them, they look like a little dark, and everyone, like, is like, it looks more doo-doo, and she's like, no, watch this, opens it up, like, she, like, roasted a sweet potato or whatever. She opens it up, and it's, like, steaming, and then she puts, like, chives and stuff on it. It's like, here, try this, and everyone's like, oh my god, this is the best thing we've ever eaten. And I was telling my brother about this, and he's like, no, pause. And so this comes up later, too, but he's like, pause. Where the fuck are they in the world where they have both sweet potatoes and bamboo in their climate? I'm like, you know what? I wasn't thinking about it this hard, because obviously neither was the author, but you're so fucking right. And so she, like, fucking brings the future to this tribe of like prehistoric people. Like she's doing wild shit and they love her for it. She's like, "Oh, you guys, all you've been eating is rock soup. Why don't you try this braised pork rib?" Where'd you get the pork? Where'd you get any of it? Where'd you get the grill? But she's like, "Yeah, I have braised pork rib for all of you. Here you go." And she's like, they fucking eat it up. They're like, "Wow, this is so good." And then big winter comes. Big winter comes, and everyone's like, "Okay, it's time to hibernate for the winter." And she's like, "No, I'm a god. I had a premonition. This big winter is going to be so much worse than other big winter. We're actually going to get snowed in and die. So we have to migrate." So they migrate, and they get to this mountain. And her and her husband are like, "Okay, we're going to scout ahead to see if like it's easier to go up and around this mountain or to go all the way around." So they go up and there's like an avalanche. So they go into like a cave to be safe. And then they stay there for a while trying to survive, and they're like, "Okay, we need to dig our way out." But instead of digging out the way they came, they dig out the other way. And so they fucking dig all the way through the mountain to the other side. They dig all the way through a mountain. And on the other side, so on one side is like fucking Antarctic tundra, like worst winter ever. They're trying to escape it, otherwise they'll die. On the other side, it's tropical. They get out on the other side and it's fucking Hawaii. And they're like, "Ah, shit, this is exactly what they needed." So they go back and they're like, "Hey guys, follow me." And then they fucking get to the other side and they invent like ceramics and pottery and shit, and I don't know. It's crazy. So that's the second one, and they come out, her and her husband come out, and it's like, "Oh man, that felt like we were there for 30 years. And it was like, "No, it was 7 minutes, and that's all good." And so then, the third one is the craziest one. And the third one is also, the last one, second to last one, because I stopped reading it while it was in progress, and I've yet to pick it up since there have been more updates. So that's, you guys are gonna have to be left in suspense. But the third one, it's her and two of her husbands this time. So it's the king this time is being reborn with her, and he's also the king here. And then the other one is her husband, who's like the king's general in this world. But in this one, I don't know, he's just some sort of noble. And they just call him Grey Wolf? Or no, Big Wolf? I don't know. They call him something Wolf. He has a name. They say it, but everyone just calls him Big Wolf. So he's Big Wolf here too. And so they explicitly say that this one is feudal Europe. I don't know much about history, but like I know a little bit. And so they say that this one's set in feudal Europe. And so everyone is normal, except for the king for some reason. He can still turn into a little cat. He can also turn into a tiger, but like he's special because he's the king, so he can choose to turn into a little baby cat if he wants to. And so basically it's this whole big thing where like they're going to war with another country or whatever, and so Big Wolf has to like go and protect, and so it's her and like the king being like, "Oh no, what's happening?" And then but then she's like, "Oh, we need to save Big Wolf." Who's going to war with her? Oh, you were in the server when I talked about this story initially with like the 3,000 voice notes. So if you listen to those, you know what I'm talking about. But so basically, her fucking husband goes to war with this like thing, and she's like, "No, I miss him so much. I need to bring him back." So she goes to the Ministry of Science, the feudal Europe Ministry of Science, because that's a thing, because that's real. Goes to the feudal Europe Ministry of Science and is like, "Hey," and she writes on the board with chalk. She writes the word chemistry. And is like, "Do y'all know what this is? You don't? Well, you're about to." And she invents gunpowder. She invents gunpowder so she can send it out to her husband's troops. And then that works so well that she invents glass. And then she invents capitalism. So what she does is she invents glass so she can like get telescopes to her husband. But then she's like, "Oh, rich nobles, you know what they want? Luxuries. You know what I have? Glasswork." So she sets up a store that sells like glass antiquity, I don't know, like glass vases and glass like baubles and stuff. And then she sets up a store. Her store is obviously the best store because it's the only store with windows because she invented glass. And she starts selling it, and then, like, she makes a greenhouse. No one had greenhouses before, because no glass, so she invents greenhouses, and then she's, like, selling flowers to everyone, and then she invents concrete, and then she's like, "Oh, I want to make there be schools, so that the children can all go to school, but before that, I have to make textbooks for them." So, this woman, who, once again, this is supposed to be feudal Europe, this woman in feudal Europe, invites Pinyin Chinese. So she invents, like, the letter characters for Mandarin and writes textbooks with them and then starts teaching people things in what is, I must stress again, described as feudal Europe. So she's invented gunpowder, glass, the Chinese language, schools, capitalism, concrete. Then later there's like a specific line, and I remember laughing so hard. It's like, later on she invented something called movable typeface. So funny. So funny. So she invites, like, typewriters and typing. And then there's one line, I read it aloud to my brother, because it was so fucking funny. It was so fucking funny. It was like everyone was at the restaurant downstairs enjoying themselves. Restaurant? What? Anyway, everyone's at the restaurant downstairs avoiding herself, but she was alone upstairs reading her book. It was quite warm outside. It was quite cold outside, but she kept her window open and she wasn't cold. There was no draft because she had her personal heater next to her, so she was just fine. What? So she just, like, invents everything. She also, like, invents the cure to malaria at one point. Like, there's, like, a plague, and everyone's like, yo, it's the Black Plague, and she's like, nah, that's malaria, and I saw a tree that can cure it. When I was visiting Big Wolf, I saw a tree that has the cure to malaria in it. In feudal Europe. So then that one wraps up. They come out of this fucking dimension. They're all like, oh my goodness, we were there for so long. And everyone's like, no, you were gone for 5 minutes. And then this one I only got half through before. So this next one, so there's at least 2 more because she's got a lot of husbands. And so far that's only been 5 of them. 5 out of 9. So there's the next one that I only got halfway through before I ran out of updates, and then there's gotta be one after because she has more husbands. But the next one, it starts out, and it's in, like, the 30s in America. But it's like, and she wants to be an actress. But apparently being an actress in the 30s in Hollywood is like being a K-pop trainee today. Because, like, she keeps talking about how her entertainment agency, but, like, it's like she's in the dorms with other trainees, and they're training all the time, and their entertainment agencies are getting ready to debut them. And I'm like, okay, so if you wanted to make a K-pop world, you should make a K-pop world, because why are you making this 30s Hollywood? That's not, but, like, they're so specific about, like, yeah, it's the dirty 30s. Anyway, time to go to my entertainment label where I'm a trainee, but then also, she still has a phone. She still has a cell phone to talk to people, because it's too inconvenient for the plot to not have a cell phone to communicate. And then also, she also has a thumbprint on her door. And so that's where it ended, that's where the update stopped, and I haven't checked back, I need to check back in, because it's been like 7 months, so I'm sure there's way more now. Anyway, all that to say, Frizzle, is your story was deeply inspired by things like that. The writing style was inspired by things like that. It's actually one of the most incredible things I've ever read. There's also a thing she did in this story, where, like, you know the, like, trope? It's like when people are like, oh, my ears are burning, someone must be talking about me, like a turn of phrase. You know, like the trope in anime where, like, someone sneezes and it's like, oh, aha, it's like a cutaway gig where it's like, someone must be talking about me. She took that and made it, like, hyper literal. So it was like, someone would sneeze, and it would be like, haha, someone must be talking to me. It's like, someone is talking about me. But if you start sneezing really, really fucking hard, like, if you have a sneezing fit, it's like, I wonder who's plotting against me. So, like, they took this, like, turn of phrase in, like, this bit and made it, like, hyper literal. Like, actually beautiful. Oh, hiccups. Actually beautiful. It was so fun to read. It was so beautiful. I think about that all the time. I genuinely think about that all the time. There's a while, I haven't done it as much lately as I used to. I still do it sometimes, but there's a little while where, like, Peach will say anything, and then all of a sudden I'll just be like, yeah, well, I invented pinyin Chinese, so you can't say fuck all. Or, like, I'll just reference it and do bits about it, and it pisses her off every time, and it's so funny to me. Like, it's such a YN-ass story. It's so fucking funny. It was so good. But also, I still get caught up on how there's a god of a world that everyone can see, but then there are people who are atheists. Like, that's like if like Earth, real life Earth, our God was the Statue of Liberty. Like this, our God lived and was in the Statue of Liberty, and you could like go and talk to the Statue of Liberty, and they'd be like, "Hello, I'm God. What do you need?" And then there were people who were like, "Nah, I don't believe in that." Like people who've gone and talked to it and been like, "Nah, it's not real." What do you mean? You've talked to it. That's like me saying, "Brother, cows aren't real." I've met cows. How does that work? I've met a cow. Like, I don't know. It's just so funny being like an atheist and being like, nah, God tree, not a real thing. God tree's right here. We can all see it. God tree, never heard of it. Don't know what that is. I think you're silly for even bringing God tree up. So funny. Yeah, anyway. Good detour. I love that story.